Can hardly wait to get started. I have this special show tonight, gang. Got a Summit Nail Jedi. If you said, hey, when's the last time that we had a master from the nail art and nail business on, I'd have to think. And this is episode 276. So this shows all my buds on the in the nail community that we're thinking of them big time. I'm looking forward to an interesting conversation. So, and Azuree it works at Venice Day Spa, that's Venice, Florida, and I said to her, "You got such a beautiful last name." She's got a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Greece in there, and it's Azuree Trentalange. I think I came close, and then salon owner is Heidi Appley, and one of my besties at Summit, the coaching faculty, Sally Monavon. As a matter of fact, Sally, as I recall, blew in my ear about Azuree and said, "You need to talk." I'm coaching a nail Jedi here, and that's why we got Azuree on. So thank you very much, Sally. So let me show you what where she's hanging out in terms of Summit stats. Level 4 on the front end, a 40-something. Average day just under 4. Average service ticket in or around 75. Rebooks just under 75. 11-point RTS, and she's doubling her W-2 this year. So in 2020 COVID, it's going from about 38 to she'll crack 70. And she even texted me something that she just had her PDM and said it's better than I thought. So she's she's got some nitroglycerin on her bonfire. Now, she's going to talk about her story, so I want to be very careful I don't take anything away from that, but graduates from high school in 99, enrolls in Sun State Academy and down in Florida in 2021, and presently she's at Venice Day Spa. If you want to get a hold of her, follow her on at @as_nailzz or nails. I love how she showcases her work, and DM her with any post follow-up questions that you have for her as well. Now, she's in my green room. I'm going to bring her out. I want her talking a little bit about her story, and then I'm going to engage her in some conversation to see if we can't get her to share some of her secret sauce with us tonight. So what I'm going to do is go back there and get her now, bring her up, bring her on full screen. And you're going to make her feel very, very welcome. And I'm going to unmute Azuree. Hi, Azuree. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming on. I know that you work today. How long did you work today?
9 hours.
Okay, so that's why when I look into your pupils, they're a little bit dilated. So you were pretty busy today, huh?
Oh, book solid.
Well, thanks for taking a few minutes tonight to come and be with us. Really appreciate it. It's been a while since we've had somebody from the nail biz on, so I'm really looking forward to engaging in the conversation with you. But get us started. We always like to start with the story because the story brings kind of a personal, emotional element in it. Who are you and how did you get into the business of nails and get to the place that you're at now?
I started out doing massage for several years, and I moved back to Florida to be with my family, and the guy I was working with, he talked me into going to nail school, and I loved it. I got to talk to people, and I was really good at it, and the rest is history. I never stopped doing it.
So there's a lot of what you said there. There's a lot in it. So I want to unpack just a little bit of it. So once upon a time before nails, you were in the massage side, and it sounds like before you were in Florida, you moved from some other place. What other place were you at when you were doing massage? It sounds like you were in another part of the country.
I was in Illinois. Started doing that.
How long were you doing massage before you pivoted to nails?
like 3 years.
So you move from Chicago down to Florida. You get into this place, Venice, and somebody convinces you or inspires you to pivot from massage to nails.
Yeah, I had a dual license for a while, and massage at the time wasn't very big in Venice. So I just really kind of focused on doing nails, and the
The
rest
rest is history. What
history,
you
basically.
didn't have
Never
to
really got back
you
into
didn't have to
it.
go back to school to get relicensed for nails. You just kind of transitioned from massage over into nails when you got to Florida.
I went to school here in Florida. I was just thought, oh, I'd have a dual license. I could do both. I did both for a while. And at the time, the industry was just very different back in 2002, a long time
Yeah.
ago. And not like it is today, that's for sure. And I just focused on nails, and I just figured I'll give it my all in one department, and I was successful from the very beginning and just kept going
Yeah,
with it.
I was going to ask you. Usually, when we have people on the show, there's some kind of life change that I don't know. Sometimes I'll call it the Big Bang, the OMG, and all of a sudden, whatever fire we have in us, there's a whole bunch of nitroglycerin that's poured on us, and we're not the same. It changes the trajectory of our life, and what did you have one of those experiences? And if so, what was it?
I think just at the time where I worked, it just was, I was inspired. I worked at a spa in Sarasota in the Quay, and I worked with some of the most amazing nail techs, and I was just super blessed to be trained by them. And I just kept going with it, and I was just extremely good at it. And it wasn't something I picked at the time. It was just something I just kind of fell into. And again, like, I love talking to people, and with massage, I really couldn't, communicate with people like I did doing nails.
So yeah,
So it
it
was just
sounds like
totally different.
yeah, you get to engage more. Massage, you almost have to be quiet and take them on a ride, right?
Yes.
And it
And I worked for school, so it was very strict. I couldn't have nail polish. I couldn't, wear makeup even, and no perfume. So it was just a completely different avenue I went down, and I loved it. So
wow.
I stuck with it. Yeah.
So yeah, and you also said that the different places you were at, you just noticed nail artist and got curious and inspired and befriended them, and it sounds like because of that, those relationships, that kind of reinvented you and said, I want to pivot.
Absolutely.
How old were you when you actually made the change from massage to nail?
22, 23, around there.
Okay, so you weren't into massage long before you make the pivot, right?
Yeah.
So you're in your second decade of being a nail artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've come far. So what's it like to be you now compared to where you were, whether it's 5, 10, 15 years ago? How has this changed you, changed your journey, changed your standard of living or your lifestyle? Because as I'm looking at you, you look happy to me. Like I'm really, really, in retrospect, that was a good move for me.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, Sally absolutely changed everything for me. I was hesitant at first for change, as most people are, and she just completely changed my mindset with everything. Like I said, I was working from paycheck to paycheck, and she kind of got me into that career-based mentality. I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I love a challenge, and I immediately just started into it. With the training she gave us, and I succeeded super fast and level jumped quite fast. And then again in August of this year. So every time I just kind of boosted my confidence and kind of made me realize like that what I'm worth and just everything that I've been through in nails, that this is kind of like my calling and where I'm supposed to be.
Wow.
Basically.
So you said a lot there. There's a piece I want to unpack. I got real curious about the Sally Manavon because I know Sally. I've mentored her for years.
She's amazing.
And she's probably she is top 2, top 3 consultants out of the faculty of 100. So she's, as you know, she's an amazing woman. She's an extraordinary human being. How long has it been since you began working with Sally? Are we talking a year, 2 years, 3 years?
I think it's about 2 years now.
Okay, so you had many years in as a nail artist. Then you meet Sally 2 years ago, and that sounds like there was something pivotal there. There was something about her coming and kind of blowing the sides off of your brain box. And it sounds like a lot of the movement and growth and trajectory has happened for you in the last 24 months. Am I listening right?
Absolutely.
So without thinking about it, and you and I, I didn't want to rehearse this. I wanted this to be really organic. In a nutshell, if you had to say, what was the one thing that you either Sally shared with you, said to you, showed you that kind of was the OMG on steroids when all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got 20 years into the biz and I'm not even warmed up yet. I met this woman, Sally Manavon, and all of a sudden, kaboom. So you've grown more in the last 24 months than probably the last several years. In a nutshell, is there one thing that you don't have to think about hard to go, yes, this is one thing that Sally said or did that made a difference?
That I was in control of my own career, basically, and that it was up to me to succeed. And that's pretty much all I needed.
Right.
At that time.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to many people that have been coached by her, and it's almost like you wake up where she helps you to see that, look, you see this thing here? It's called a dial and a knob, and it's called your income, your success, and you've got your hands on that, whether you can see it or not. There's way more control you have, and there's something about that awakening. A lot of people don't want to wake up to that because you wake up to that and all of a sudden, whoa, I have to start taking responsibility for my life a little bit more. And, I don't have a story to get me out of jail free.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, as I'm listening to you, now I get a sense as to why Sally DM'd me and said, okay, you need to talk to Azuree, because so she knew you before and she saw kind of like the miracle, the transformation, the lights go on. And so she's as stoked about you as you are about her.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
I owe a lot to her for sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking at you. I'm listening to you. This is, we're coming right up. We're coming to like 300 interviews. So it's not like I started doing this last week. I've been doing it for a few years, and I've had the opportunity to watch. There's people watching tonight that are in the business, the nail part of the business. There's going to be a whole lot more people watching this conversation in the replay. They're looking at you, listening to you, identifying with you, relating, but they haven't had the big bang yet. They haven't had the OMG. And a lot of times in these programs, it's almost like you put them at the holy jumping off place. So it's almost like they're going to get busy living or get busy staying the same. And they're probably asking themselves, gee, if I take the shot like Azuree did, I wonder what would happen to me. Because now you're on the other side. What might you say to them?
I would say, having confidence and knowing your worth in this industry is huge. And for me, retail was like a huge thing that I never really thought about until we got the farmhouse fresh. And that changed probably like 70% of my career for sure.
Talk about that piece. When you say Farmhouse Fresh, what is that?
It's a Texas-based company. It's all natural, vegan, and gluten-free. At the time, we were using OPI, which they would go back and forth and discontinue stuff and easily get it. And we wanted to look for something more natural. That was like our approach. We moved into a new spa. So we wanted to change our whole retail line. And I did the extra training. I love the company. I love using all their stuff. And that really helped push me into doing more with that.
Yeah, it sounds like that inspired you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, moving into a new spa, you know, my boss, you know, she spent a lot of time and made it amazing. And that really changed like my whole mindset too. And it's been amazing. Like we just went about a year moving into our new place, and our nail department doubled in size. So that was like huge for us.
Wow, and it sounds like you're leading that charge. You're you're spearheading.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good for you. Well, I got a few minutes left, and I just wanted to get you talking a little bit, and you've already kind of got into it a little bit, got inspired by a brand. Is there anything else you're doing at your table or on social, or how you're engaging, interacting, or in education where you're saying, yes, this is really a difference maker in terms of a best practice or a process that's really getting me some traction? Maybe it's something that Sally got you engaged in. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, having a positive mindset. I mean, every day I go in the morning and think of like how I'm going to start my day, first of all, and just honestly, just taking in each individual client and their needs and taking time to make the best for them as individuals, which I never did before.
Right.
Which was kind of new to me, which Sally kind of, you know, brought that together.
Yeah. No, listen, what you're saying.
I didn't think about before, you know, I was just like, you know, just do the job, get it done. And now, like, I want people to get something more out of it. I feel like I'm a natural healer. I'm meant to do this. And, you know, I want to be able to spend a good amount of time on each client and their needs and meet those needs. And that I feel like that's our job in this industry, to meet those needs and be the best we can be.
Wow. There's a lot to what you said there, because really what the Sallys of the world kind of open our eyes to say, look, every single guest that we have, or every hour in between the guests, whether we're talking about time on our books or the guest or both, is an opportunity to not only, you know, engage the guest in a process where the guest leaves with a knock your socks off experience, but as far as our own careers go, if we do that, our careers are we're prospered so much more, and all of a sudden we find ourselves taking advantage of the opportunities where before we were taking them for granted. It's like, yeah, you know, it's really kind of a job, and it's mundane. And now you're saying, no, when I go in now on the front end of the day, I want to look at what's coming at me, and when I say what the opportunities, so I can be explicit in take advantages of as many as I can.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I couldn't said it better myself. Yes.
I love it. Well, listen, we usually spend about 20 minutes or so, and we're out of time, and I know it's been a long day for you, but promise me you'll come back for an encore, because I think 2021 was a phenomenal year. You doubled your income, and I think you're just getting warmed up. I'm going to be absolutely. I'm going to be curious on steroids as to what you're going to be doing in 22 as you stand on the shoulders of what you did in 21. So, promise me you'll come back to see us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael, for this opportunity.
All right, thank you, Azuree. We're going to give it up for you one more time. You guys, stay well, my friend. I'll see you soon. Great conversation, you guys. I think we want to give it up for her one more time. It's interesting, as I interview, the more people I interview, the more convinced I am that the difference. There's a big, that old saying, and I've been saying it forever. When we change how we see, we change how we be. So, she had an eye-opening awakening, and that is that there's ultimately, we have the opportunity to make the difference. We have much more influence, control over our livelihood, our career, our income, and there's, probably 8 out of 10 nail artists will go through a 20, 30-year career and really never have that insight, that profound OMG, and it's pretty much a job. I mean, my partners at Summit call it hobby. It's kind of a hobby. But she had an awakening where every day, every guest, every hour, there is an opportunity for me to do something that's mutually beneficial. So, to serve a guest in a way that their experience is memorable from, the skillfulness I have in my craft, my art, and her life is about petties and manis, and send them home with a, kind of a knock your socks off experience. And then that to the degree I do this, I get to have a livelihood, an income, a standard of living, a lifestyle that's exponentially greater than 8 out of 10 people that are in the same business that I'm in. And I heard her say that. What was interesting is she's been doing it since she's 19 or 20. She's 40 now, so she got 2 full decades in. She's on the front end of her 3rd decade, and it sounds like she was, doing okay up until probably the last 2 to 3 years of this decade, and she meets a Sally Manavon, and it's like boom goes the dynamite. So I say that to you, we kind of break it and unpack it and kind of give you the anatomy of that, because those of you that have had that awakening are going, yes, you had me at hello. That's a blinding flash of the obvious, but then there's people that are around us that haven't had that yet. And if you've had it, that old saying, pay it forward, pass it on, because if you don't, chances are people are going to go through their entire life, and pretty much it's going to kind of be 10 years from now what it is now, and it is now what it was 10 years ago. And boy, that's a hell of a way to live your life. So it was an extraordinary conversation we had with Azuree. So give it up for her. One more time. You're watching. You're watching me. You're watching Michael Cole, Millionaire Stylist on Facebook, and this is Facebook Live. We do this on Thursday nights. We do this on Monday nights. We're going to be doing some new podcasts after the first of the year, but this interview we recorded it. We will actually edit the interview and put it on the same handle on Instagram, Michael Cole Millionaire Stylist. You'll see it on our IGTV TV channel, where we take the 20 minutes tonight and we kind of curate it and cook it down into 3-4 minute sound bites so that you can kind of capture the essence, the highlights of it. And it's just a great, it's great inspiration. So would invite you to do that as well. If you're new to Summit, I would strongly encourage you to set up a time for a complimentary virtual consultation with one of our coaches. 800-718-5949 will set the stage. Set a conversation up with Sally Manavon. I'm sure she'd love to chat with you. Also, because we are powered by L'Oreal, all of our coaches and salon owners that are using Summit, use gamified digital calculators that are simple to use, they're fun, and we've made them safe, simple. The Dream Machine is one of my favorites. It's what Azuree did is she set a goal this year to do 70,000, and the calculator, based on the number of days she works and the number of guests that she sees, shows her what her average day would need to look like, average ticket, both in service and retail. And then it's a matter of she plans her day around that. That's our secret sauce. So Dream Machine is an absolute must. Then as you begin to make more money, like she's doubled her income this year, the idea is begin to manage the money that you're making in a way that you can begin saving some of this. So in the period of 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you have so much more to show for the commitment you've made to your craft than you would otherwise. And we call that the golden goose calc. And it just kind of shows you that a little bit of saving every day over time, where to put it, I'll tell you, in time, it makes a big, 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 big difference. And then some of us are plagued with debt, whether it's credit card debt, auto debt, whatever. So this calculator is a debt-free calc. So all of these are complements. L'Oreal, because L'Oreal is really, we're powered by L'Oreal. So if you get on my Michael Cole $1 Million Stylist Instagram page under my link tree, you can get on the $1 Million Calcs, and away you go. Now, in 2022, we're going to be doing a podcast series that's going to be sponsored by L'Oreal. So stay close to us on that as well, because that's going to support what we're doing. So great night tonight. We are, of course, an exclusive business partner of L'Oreal. I'm profoundly grateful for what they're able to support in financial resource. It just allows us to bring a lot of this to you, compliments to them. So these are the L'Oreal brands: Biolage, Pulp Riot, Pureology, Kerastase, L'Oreal Professional, Redken Matrix Shoe, and Mazzani. So please, if you're going to get involved in our community, get involved in these brands to the degree that you're involved in the brands and your clients are involved in the brands. It works in a way so that we have the resource to continue to, motivate the motivator, if you will, mentor the mentor. So been a great show. Going to let you get on with your evening. Thanks for hanging out with us, Jill Wilson. It's wonderful to have you. Jill is kind of an Obi-Wan Kenobi Yoda master that's been in the nail business for many moons. So if you're interested in getting involved in Summit Nail Training, reach out to Jill as well. And Randy Kunkel must have just came on too. Good to see you, my friend. I know you're at the retreat, so you and I will have to connect and catch up. So have a great evening, my friends, and we'll talk to you soon.